My brothers and sisters, I stand before you today with one message. Life is not a passive experience. It is a journey, a test, a calling, and it is full of lessons that are meant to shape us into the people we are destined to be. Let me tell you something. Life has a way of testing us. It will throw challenges at you that will make you question your strength, your purpose, and your ability to go on. But here's the truth. It is not the absence of hardship that determines our future, but our ability to persist through the hardship. The first key lesson in life that everyone must learn is the power of persistence. Persistence is the unwavering determination to continue moving forward, no matter the obstacles, no matter how many times you fall. It's the ability to press on when the road ahead seems impossible, when the dream feels far out of reach, when the weight of the world is pressing on your shoulders. In those moments, it is easy to give up. It is easy to throw in the towel and walk away, convinced that the battle is too great or the odds are too much to overcome. But what you must understand is that your breakthrough is often just on the other side of that very moment when you feel like giving up. You see, persistence is not about always being at the top or always succeeding on the first try. It's about refusing to be defeated. It's about making the decision that no matter what comes your way, you will not quit. Life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You won't win every battle, and you won't conquer every challenge on the first attempt. But every time you get up and try again, you are moving closer to victory. Take a moment and think about the greatest successes in history. Think about the people who have left a lasting mark on the world. Do you know what they all have in common? They were persistent. Thomas Edison, when he invented the light bulb, failed thousands of times before he found the right formula. But instead of quitting, he saw every failure as a step closer to success. He didn't let rejection or failure stop him. He was persistent. In fact, most of the people we look up to didn't reach their place of success by avoiding failure. They reached it by persevering through it. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is often simply the decision to keep going when others would quit. Persistence is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's the force that propels you forward when everything around you says stop. But here's the thing. Persistence doesn't mean blindly pushing forward without adjusting or learning from the journey. It's not about stubbornly clinging to something that is not working. It's about having the wisdom to adapt while continuing to move forward. You must be willing to learn from your failures, to adapt your approach, and to refine your methods. Persistence isn't about doing the same thing over and over again without thinking. It's about being flexible enough to change when needed, but strong enough to stay committed to the goal. Many people give up too soon because they expect success to come quickly or easily. They expect immediate results, and when they don't see them, they walk away, discouraged and defeated. But true success rarely comes overnight. It is built piece by piece through persistence. You have to be willing to stick with it, to trust the process, and to continue working even when you can't yet see the fruits of your labor. Every small step forward counts, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Progress is often slow, and the rewards may not be immediate. But if you remain persistent, you will eventually reach the place where your hard work pays off. Consider the example of a marathon runner. When they start the race, they may feel tired, they may face pain, and they may wonder if they'll make it to the end. But what sets successful runners apart from those who drop out is their ability to persist, even when they feel like they can't go any further. It's not the first step that wins the race, it's the 1,000th one, the step taken after every doubt and every ounce of energy has been spent. It's the decision to keep moving, to keep pushing forward, even when the finish line seems too far away. The same is true in life. There will be times when you will feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and like it's just too hard. But I want to remind you today that the finish line is closer than you think. If you just keep going, if you just keep pressing through the challenges, you will arrive at your breakthrough. It won't always be easy, and it may take longer than you expect, but persistence is the key that unlocks the door to success. It's important to understand that persistence is not just about pushing through for the sake of it. It's about believing in your purpose, in your dreams, and in your vision, even when the world around you tries to tell you to quit. Persistence is rooted in faith. It's the belief that what you are working toward is worth the struggle, worth the sacrifice. When you persist, you are not just fighting against external challenges, but you are fighting against the doubts and fears that try to rise up within you. You are telling yourself, I will not give up. I will not quit. I will continue even when it seems like the odds are stacked against me. In every struggle, there is a lesson. In every failure, there is growth. And in every setback, there is an opportunity to come back stronger. The more you persist, the more you learn about your own strength, about your capacity to endure, and about the power of your own will. Life will test you, but remember this. Persistence is the armor that will shield you, the strength that will carry you, and the force that will propel you forward into your destiny. So, when you are faced with challenges, when you feel like giving up, remember the power of persistence. Keep going, keep fighting. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful forces that can shape your life. It is the bedrock on which all success is built. Dreaming big is easy. Anyone can have a vision of something grand, something that excites them, something that ignites their passion. But the real challenge comes in turning those dreams into reality, and that's where self-discipline plays its role. It's not enough to want something. If you're not willing to put in the necessary work, to make the right decisions consistently, and to hold yourself accountable, your dreams will remain nothing more than a wish. Self-discipline is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Let's be clear, self-discipline isn't about punishing yourself or forcing yourself into a rigid, joyless existence. It's about making intentional choices that align with your long-term goals and not giving in to the momentary distractions or temptations that derail you from your path. It's about having control over your impulses, choosing the harder but more rewarding path, and staying consistent even when motivation fades. In today's world, it's easy to get sidetracked. We live in a world full of distractions, social media, entertainment, and an endless list of things that pull at our attention. It's easy to procrastinate, to put off what needs to be done until tomorrow or next week. But here's the thing, time doesn't wait for anyone. The clock keeps ticking, and while you may be distracted, others are putting in the work. They are making the sacrifices, taking the steps necessary to achieve their goals. If you don't develop the discipline to focus on your dreams today, you risk waking up years from now with regret, looking back at all the time you wasted on things that didn't matter. Self-discipline means making decisions based on your future, not your immediate desires. It's the ability to say no to short-term pleasures, knowing that they will derail your progress. It's about choosing to put in the work when no one is watching, when there is no external validation, and when the rewards seem far out of reach. But let me tell you something, the reward is always greater when it is earned through discipline. It's not about taking the easy way out or finding shortcuts. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's difficult, because you know that it will pay off in the end. Let me give you an example. Think about physical fitness. Achieving a healthy body is not about motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel on fire, and other days you struggle to get out of bed. But self-discipline is what will get you out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's what will get you to the gym or keep you eating healthy meals, even when you'd rather be indulging in something less healthy. It's about sticking to a routine, making it a non-negotiable part of your life, even when you're tired, stressed, or tempted to skip. Over time, those small disciplined choices add up, and you begin to see the results, physically, emotionally, and mentally. Now, self-discipline is not just about big goals like fitness or career success. It's in the small daily habits that shape our lives. It's about waking up early even when you're tired, about committing to reading or learning something new each day, about not allowing yourself to waste time on things that don't add value to your life. Discipline is built in those small, seemingly insignificant moments. The truth is, success isn't just the big moments we see, it's the accumulation of all the little decisions we make each day. The choice to prioritize your time, to choose productivity over procrastination, to focus on growth instead of comfort. These are the moments where self-discipline is forged. But let's be honest, self-discipline can be difficult. It's not easy to delay gratification, to say no to the things that offer immediate satisfaction in favor of something bigger that is still a long way off. It's easy to give in to laziness, to indulge in distractions, to fall into bad habits that keep you stuck. But if you want to live a life that is truly fulfilling, if you want to reach your full potential, then self-discipline is a non-negotiable. The good news is that discipline is a skill that can be developed over time. It doesn't have to be something you're born with. Like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. One of the most important aspects of self-discipline is consistency. It's not about making big, grand gestures that last for a day or a week. It's about making small, positive decisions every single day. Whether it's committing to a few minutes of exercise, setting aside time to read, or consistently focusing on your work. It's those small habits that will compound over time to create significant change. Consistency builds momentum. When you do something consistently, even in small doses, it becomes a part of who you are. And that's how true success is built, through consistent, disciplined effort. Self-discipline is also about creating a life that aligns with your values and goals. It's about taking control of your choices instead of letting your circumstances control you. Too many people live reactively, allowing distractions and external pressures to dictate their actions. But when you develop self-discipline, you become the driver of your life. You get to choose where you want to go and how you'll get there. You begin to make decisions that align with your deepest desires, rather than letting fleeting impulses dictate your actions. Remember, success doesn't come by accident. It comes from making deliberate choices and committing to those choices over time. And that's what self-discipline is. The ability to make choices that push you toward your dreams, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, even when it feels like no one is watching. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it for yourself. The future you is counting on the disciplined actions you take today. And I can promise you, when you stay disciplined, you will reap the rewards of a life well lived. Life has a way of knocking us down. Whether it's a setback in our career, a challenge in our relationships, a financial struggle, or a personal loss, we all face moments when it feels like the world is against us. In those moments, the temptation is to stay down, to accept defeat, and to succumb to the pain. But the greatest lesson we can learn in those times is the importance of resilience. It's not about avoiding the difficulties of life, but about developing the strength to rise again after each fall. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to recover from setbacks, and to keep moving forward even when the road is rough. It's not a quality that you're born with, but rather one that you build over time through your experiences, your struggles, and your ability to persevere. Every time you face a challenge and choose to rise instead of giving in, you're building resilience. Every time life knocks you down, but you find the strength to stand up again, you become stronger. The truth is, no one escapes life without hardship. We all encounter storms that threaten to derail us. It's easy to look at someone who appears to have it all together and assume they haven't faced their own difficulties, but the reality is that everyone has been through something. The key is not whether you face challenges. It's how you respond to them. Resilience is about the decision to not let your circumstances define you. It's about refusing to allow hardship to dictate your life's trajectory. Instead, you choose to learn from the experience, grow stronger, and use it as fuel for your future success. When faced with adversity, the first instinct for many is to wallow in self-pity or to focus on the pain. And while it's natural to feel upset when things aren't going well, the danger comes when we allow that pain to control us. Resilience is about feeling the pain, acknowledging it, but not letting it control the narrative of your life. It's about understanding that pain is temporary, but the lessons you gain from overcoming it can last a lifetime. Think about the process of refining gold. Gold doesn't become valuable in its raw form. It must go through fire. The fire burns away the impurities, leaving only the precious metal behind. The same is true for us. Life's struggles and hardships act as the fire that refines us. They don't break us. They shape us. They prepare us for a greater purpose. They test our character and show us what we're truly made of. The key to resilience is learning how to use those trials as a means of transformation. Instead of letting the storm consume you, let it refine you. Instead of allowing the setback to define you, let it build your strength. In moments of struggle, it's easy to feel alone, like you're the only one going through hardship. But I want to remind you today that you are not alone in your struggle. Resilience is a shared human experience. It's something we all have within us. The greatest people in history didn't achieve greatness by avoiding difficulties. They achieved greatness by choosing to push through them. The difference between someone who succeeds and someone who gives up often lies in their ability to bounce back. In the face of failure, successful people don't see an ending. They see an opportunity to try again. They refuse to allow one setback to dictate their entire future. Resilience also requires a shift in perspective. It's about seeing failure not as a permanent condition, but as a temporary state. When you face a setback, it's easy to feel like it's the end, like the dream is over, like you've lost everything. But resilience teaches us that no situation is permanent unless we allow it to be. It's about shifting your mindset from defeat to possibility. Instead of focusing on how far you have to go, focus on how far you've already come. Instead of allowing your failure to define you, redefine yourself by how you rise from it. Every time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? What does this setback teach me about my character and my resolve? Resilience also requires patience. It's about understanding that recovery takes time. Healing from emotional pain, bouncing back from a financial loss, or overcoming a personal failure doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and that process requires you to keep moving forward, even when progress feels slow. There will be days when you feel like you're making no headway, when you feel exhausted, when the weight of the world feels too heavy to carry. But in those moments, it's important to remind yourself that every small step forward is progress. You don't have to have all the answers right away. You don't need to fix everything in one go. The key is to take one step at a time, to keep putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road seems uncertain. Building resilience is also about surrounding yourself with the right support. It's important to have people around you who lift you up, who encourage you, and who believe in you even when you struggle to believe in yourself. Resilience is not about doing everything alone. It's about reaching out for help when you need it, leaning on others for strength, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. No one can carry the weight of the world on their own, and you don't have to. It's okay to lean on others, to ask for support, and to receive help during the tough times. The power of resilience lies in its ability to transform you. When you are resilient, you don't just survive, you thrive. You become someone who can face any obstacle with confidence, knowing that you have the strength to overcome it. Life may throw everything it has at you, but with resilience you will rise again. And each time you rise, you become more powerful, more confident, and more prepared for the next challenge. So, my friend, embrace resilience. Choose to rise after every fall. Know that your setbacks do not define you, but how you respond to them does. Build your resilience today, and you'll find that there is no obstacle too great for you to overcome. Keep moving forward, because your comeback is just around the corner. And when you rise, you will be stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. The power of mindset cannot be overstated. The way you think shapes the way you live, and how you perceive yourself and your circumstances ultimately dictates the direction your life will take. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world, and it has the ability to either lift you up or hold you back. If you want to transform your life, one of the most important lessons you can learn is how to cultivate a positive, growth-oriented mindset. This is the key to unlocking your full potential. A fixed mindset, on the other hand, is one that limits your growth. It's the mindset that believes abilities and intelligence are fixed traits, and that failure defines your limit. People with a fixed mindset often avoid challenges because they fear failure, believing that their lack of success is a reflection of their abilities. They see mistakes as something to be avoided at all costs and view criticism as a personal attack. This mindset keeps them stuck in a cycle of stagnation because it doesn't allow for the growth that comes from failure and learning. In contrast, a growth mindset is one that believes that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. People with a growth mindset embrace challenges, understanding that each obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow. Having a growth mindset means shifting your perspective from seeing failure as something to be feared to seeing it as a valuable part of the learning process. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. Without failure, there would be no room for growth. The most successful people in the world did not get to where they are because they avoided failure. They got there because they were willing to fail, learn from it, and keep going. It's the ability to look at a failure not as the end of the road, but as a stepping stone to success. One of the biggest barriers to success is self-doubt. We all face moments when we question our abilities, when we wonder if we're truly capable of achieving our goals. But the key is not to let that doubt define you. A positive mindset allows you to acknowledge those feelings without letting them control you. Instead of allowing self-doubt to paralyze you, you learn to see it for what it is, just a feeling, not a fact. When you cultivate a growth mindset, you understand that your abilities are not fixed, and that you can improve through effort and persistence. You begin to see obstacles as temporary challenges rather than permanent roadblocks. A growth mindset also involves the belief that there is always room for improvement. This mindset encourages continuous learning, growth, and development. It's the belief that no matter how much you know or how skilled you are, there is always something more to learn, something new to discover. People with this mindset are not afraid to ask questions, seek feedback, and take on new challenges. They understand that learning is a lifelong journey, and they embrace it with enthusiasm. They see every experience, good or bad, as an opportunity to grow and evolve. Another key aspect of cultivating a growth mindset is the ability to embrace effort. People with a fixed mindset believe that talent and intelligence should come easily, and when something doesn't come easily, they give up. But people with a growth mindset understand that effort is the key to progress. They are willing to put in the work, knowing that it's through consistent effort that they will improve and ultimately succeed. They view hard work not as something to be avoided, but as the very thing that will take them to the next level. The more you are willing to invest in your own growth, the more progress you will make. The power of a growth mind, it extends beyond personal success. It affects how you interact with others. When you have a growth mindset, you view the success of others as inspiration rather than competition. You believe that there is enough success to go around and that someone else's achievement does not diminish your potential. This mindset fosters collaboration, cooperation, and support, rather than envy and jealousy. It's a mindset that celebrates growth, both your own and others, and that understands that together we can all rise. Cultivating a growth mind. It also means developing resilience in the face of setbacks. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged and give up. But a growth mind, it helps you see setbacks as opportunities to learn. It's the ability to look at a failure and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? Instead of giving up, you get curious, you get resourceful, you get creative, and that creativity leads to solutions, breakthroughs, and eventual success. A growth mindset turns obstacles into opportunities and failures into lessons. A positive mindset also requires self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. But a growth mindset allows you to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. You don't berate yourself for mistakes or setbacks. Instead, you treat them as part of the learning process. You acknowledge that no one is perfect and that it's okay to make mistakes. What matters is how you respond to those mistakes. Do you give up, or do you rise again? Learn from the experience and keep moving forward. The way you speak to yourself is also a reflection of your mindset. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that failure is a reflection of your abilities, then that's exactly what you'll believe. But if you change your inner dialogue, if you start telling yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy of success, and that failure is simply a part of the journey, then your mindset shifts. Your thoughts shape your reality, and by choosing to focus on the positive, you set yourself up for growth and success. Ultimately, a positive and growth-oriented mindset is a choice. It's the decision to believe that you are capable of achieving your goals, that you can grow through challenges, and that your potential is limitless. The power of mindset is that it can transform every aspect of your life, your career, your relationships, your health, and your happiness. When you choose to believe in your own potential, when you choose to view challenges as opportunities, and when you choose to embrace growth, you unlock a future filled with endless possibilities. Your mindset is the key to creating the life you desire, and once you understand that, you will realize that anything is possible. One of the greatest truths about life is that we are all creators of our own destiny. While circumstances, challenges, and external factors certainly play a role, the power to shape the future ultimately lies within us. The decisions we make today, the choices we take, the actions we pursue, and the mindset we adopt determine the course of our lives. This is why it's essential to understand the power of intentional living. Too often, people go through life by default, reacting to what happens around them instead of proactively creating the life they desire. They let life push them along, rather than steering their own ship. But the truth is that you have the power to create the life you want. It starts with making intentional choices and taking purposeful actions. To live intentionally means to live with purpose and clarity. It's about aligning your daily actions with your long-term goals. It means that you don't wake up each day without direction or focus. Instead, you wake up knowing exactly what you're striving for and understanding that every decision you make is either bringing you closer to or further away from your goals. Living intentionally requires you to be mindful of where your energy is going and to make choices that reflect the life you want to build. Intentional living begins with having a clear sense of purpose. Without purpose, life can feel aimless and uncertain. Purpose is the driving force behind everything you do. It's what motivates you to wake up every morning with determination and vision. When you have purpose, obstacles don't feel like roadblocks. They feel like challenges to overcome. Purpose gives you the resilience to keep going even when times are tough. It gives you clarity when you're faced with difficult decisions, as you can measure your choices against your larger goals. Purpose allows you to stay focused on what matters, not getting distracted by the noise and distractions of everyday life. But purpose alone isn't enough. You must take purposeful action. Intentional living isn't just about having goals or dreams. It's about turning those goals into actionable steps. It's about recognizing that every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward realizing your dreams. Small, consistent actions compound over time, and those little steps add up to big results. A life lived with purpose is a life lived with intentionality, where every decision, every action, and every moment is focused on creating the future you desire. One of the key components of intentional living is the ability to say no to things that do not serve your purpose. It's about recognizing the distractions that pull you away from your goals and having the courage to eliminate them. You can't do everything, and not everything in your life deserves your time and attention. If you say yes to every opportunity, every invitation, and every distraction, you dilute your focus and energy. Living intentionally requires you to be discerning about how you spend your time and what you allow into your life. It's about saying no to things that don't align with your values, your goals, or your vision for the future. Saying no isn't selfish. It's a necessary act of self-care and self-respect. By setting clear boundaries and prioritizing what truly matters, you free yourself up to give your best energy to what's truly important. Intentional living also means taking full responsibility for your life. Too often, people look to external circumstances or other people as the cause of their problems. They blame their situations, their environment, or their upbringing for why things aren't going as they hope. But when you live intentionally, you recognize that you have the power to change your circumstances. You stop being a victim of your environment and start being the author of your own story. This doesn't mean that external factors won't affect you, but it means that you choose how to respond. You take responsibility for your actions, your decisions, and your mindset. You stop making excuses and start finding solutions. Intentional living is about taking control of your life and understanding that, while you can't control everything, you can always control how you respond. Another key element of intentional living is being present. It's easy to get caught up in the future, constantly chasing the next big thing or reminiscing about the past. But the truth is, the present moment is all we truly have. Living intentionally means being fully present in each moment, fully engaged with the people around you, and fully invested in what you're doing. When you focus on the present, you make the most of every opportunity, and you eliminate distractions that prevent you from making the most of your time. It's about truly experiencing life as it happens, instead of always looking ahead or behind. Living with intention also means embracing the process. Too often, people focus solely on the end result and forget that the journey is just as important. Success is not just about achieving the goal, it's about the person you become along the way. It's about the growth, the lessons, the challenges, and the triumphs that shape you. When you live intentionally, you focus on making each step in the process meaningful. You savor each experience, each lesson, and each moment, knowing that the journey itself is as valuable as the destination. Intentional living also requires you to align your actions with your values. Too often, people live in a way that is out of alignment with their core beliefs. They may chase success or status at the expense of their integrity, or they may find themselves compromising on what's important to them in order to please others. But living intentionally means making decisions that align with who you truly are and what you truly believe. It means living authentically, without pretending to be someone you're not, and without compromising on what matters most to you. When your actions align with your values, you create a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that external success cannot provide. Finally, living intentionally means prioritizing your well-being. It's about understanding that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself, mentally, physically, and emotionally, so that you have the strength and energy to pursue your goals. Intentional living means making time for self-care, nurturing your body and mind, and ensuring that you are in the best possible position to show up as your best self in the world. Living with intention is the key to creating a life that aligns with your deepest desires and greatest potential. It's about making purposeful choices every day, saying no to distractions, taking responsibility for your life, and staying present in the moment. It's about living with purpose, authenticity, and integrity, and about taking deliberate action toward your goals. When you live intentionally, you are not at the mercy of life's circumstances. You are the creator of your destiny. The life you want is within your reach, and it begins with the choices you make today. So, choose intentionally, live with purpose, and watch your dreams unfold. In conclusion, the greatest life lessons are not about avoiding challenges or finding the easiest path. They are about embracing resilience, developing a growth mindset, taking ownership of your choices, and living with intention. Life will present obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but how you respond to them is what truly shapes your destiny. The power to rise after every fall, to learn from every failure, to take ownership of your actions, and to live purposefully with clarity and intention is in your hands. These lessons are not just theoretical. They are practical principles that, when applied, can transform your life. The road to success and fulfillment is not linear, and it's not about having everything figured out from the start. It's about understanding that each step, no matter how small or challenging, is part of your growth. The more you embrace these lessons, the more you will realize that your future is not determined by external circumstances, but by the decisions you make today. You are the author of your own story, and with resilience, a growth mindset, intentional living, and purposeful choices, you have the power to shape your life into something extraordinary. So, take these lessons to heart. Rise above your circumstances. Believe in your ability to learn, grow, and overcome. And always remember that the greatest lessons are not just in the destination, but in the journey itself. Keep moving forward with purpose, keep growing with each experience, and know that with each passing day, you are becoming the best version of yourself. Your future is bright, and it starts with the choices you make today. Embrace these lessons, and let them guide you toward the life you are destined to live.